Welcome to the weather. Doggone it. Welcome to the weather forecast for the week beginning Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. I'm Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth for Longmont Public Media. We have on Sunday, August 15th, the first quarter moon in the evening sky, rising at about 2 o'clock and setting the next day. We didn't get to see the Perseids last week with our nice new moon that coincided with it because of all the smoke. And we'll take a look at the smoke in just a moment, see if there's any relief coming. But speaking of relief, there is some in the drought world. You see, last week, most of the eastern plains were drought-free. We had improvement the previous week to last week down in the southwest. And going into this week, now the northwestern part of the state has seen some drought conditions lessen. So fantastic news there. Nationally, where we see the monsoonal moisture down here in the south, southwest, we see things get better in the west and across the northern states, going from last week to this week, get a little worse. The rest of the nation staying moist. The moisture we did get was largely confined to the mountains. We had a few heavier showers up here in the north, but most of it was about a half inch to an inch and a half or so, which is good moisture. Eastern plains were storm-free, except this little line that formed one day out east of I-25 and made this little pattern here. Our weather pattern is dominated by this big ridge stretching across the nation from west to east. We have a little high center down here, passing trough up to the north on Wednesday. And that flow is allowing some moisture into the southwest, Mexico and Arizona, up in the eastern states, and pretty dry across us. Water vapor satellite loop showing moist air versus dry, moist being the grays, and the high clouds and icy clouds being pink and green, and the dry air being the dark grays and reds. We have this western flow from not a lot of moisture source there. It's all confined just south of us. Going from Tuesday into Wednesday, we see the moisture has gone a little closer. It's definitely over through the southern counties of Colorado, but not getting much further north. Wednesday p.m., we see the monsoonal storms down to the south, Arizona, New Mexico, and nothing around Colorado. Rain-free at the beginning of the forecast time. Taking a look at smoke. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's still going. We have still plenty of fires out in the west, and heat goes on. And this ribbon of smoke is staying anchored right over Colorado. In fact, if you see, it kind of pivots around the front range. I'll play this again. We get some easterly flow, and it just kind of pivots, staying pushed up against the mountains in the northeast plains. There is clear air up here. There's another fire up here, but it just doesn't quite make it down. Smoke at all levels. At the surface, it's not as bad of a story. It sure starts out smoky here, very smoky west of us. Again, this easterly flow tries to clean it out a little bit. Get a little push of clean air down this way. It's going to smoke on and off. It mixes around, stays in place at the surface. And near the end, coming into Friday-ish, into Saturday, you see it kind of get right there, getting not so bad, but still hazy. So by Friday noon, what's changing is your ridge is reestablishing itself a little more north-south to our east, to our west, and that's giving us our northwest flow over the state. Trough is still here, and that will allow little ripples to bring in a cold front that will increase easterly flow, and we get some of the moisture pressed all the way up into Wyoming. Friday noon, there's our cold front beginning to push down to the state, and the little storms out ahead along the front coming together. For convection, from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, this light green is a chance of thunderstorms forming. It's not the severe stuff that we see in these special colors over here. This is just any thunderstorm at all. North of Denver, including Denver itself, on Wednesday, real no chance of anything at all. On Thursday, the moisture is pushed a little further north, and most of Colorado could see a thunderstorm if it formed. Then on Friday, it's pushed all the way up into Wyoming as the moisture kind of wraps around a little further. So over the next 10 days, our normal high temperature drops from 88 to 87, our low is 59 to 57. You can see it very dry at the beginning. Here's our Friday chance of storms as that little cold front pushes in. A little drier over the weekend, and then next week the temperatures drop and a much more moist pattern seems to be coming in. So that's good news. We need some rain. Enough summer. So next Wednesday, you can see what's happening is a trough is starting to push into the western U.S., and this ridge is now extended this direction from Baja up into central eastern Canada. And this troughiness will cool us down, hopefully bring a good flow of moisture back up. We'll see that in the animation in just a moment. So over the next 10 days, let's take a look at what the upper level pattern is doing. You can see that the western ridge is reestablishing itself right there, getting a good strong circulation, bringing us north and even northeast winds at times. And here's going into Monday and Tuesday. Here comes that big trough into the west, and that ridge gets shoved over here towards the Great Lakes. For temperatures, not a lot of variation going on day to day. Here's our Friday cold front slipping by, cooling the plains for a day or two. The moisture down in the southwest yielding these below normal temperatures for Arizona and New Mexico day after day. And then next week you can see the effects of this big trough coming in. And the entire west does get a few cooler than normal days with that. Hopefully that really pushes the smoke elsewhere as well. So let's take a look at moisture. We start out really dry over Colorado. Here's our tropical system, Kevin, I believe. And that definitely adds moisture to this ridge out west. And then as we get into Sunday and Monday, it's dry in the plains, moist out west, that's where we need it. But a little bit later, the moisture really starts to get established across the state Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday. So storm chances really should pick up middle of next week significantly. So for the precipitation, not much to show except the sort of popcorn-like thunderstorms that appear every afternoon and then fall apart. You can see day after day as the moisture heads north, these things start to occur across more of the western states, including Colorado. So over the next 5 days, moisture is pretty limited, more of it down in New Mexico and south of us. The mountains get some storms now and then. Over the next 10 days, northwest plains, northeast plains kind of miss out, but the mountains, especially the southern, southwestern mountains, seem to pick up a good amount of moisture. So for the next week, we start out with near record high temperatures, 97-ish. We start to cool down on Thursday and Friday as that cold front comes in with our chance of storms. I don't have a high chance of storms for that day, but sure could see something. Saturday dries out a little bit, and then next week, temperatures hover in the low to mid-90s with a fair chance of an afternoon thunderstorm each day. For frequent weather updates and lots of local news, check out longmontlear.com. That's where my weather article is over there. I've been Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth. Keep looking up.